Howdy everyone, it's Reese, aka Bearman Prime here on this January the 27th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you for joining me again, I sure do appreciate it. Card in the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist so you can get caught up. And make sure you're hitting that subscribe and notification bell so you're staying caught up. Alright, so we're continuing with the story of Joseph and his brothers. The famine has struck Egypt and the surrounding countries. There's no food anywhere except in Egypt. They have it all stored up, so everyone's having to come to Egypt to buy grain, buy food, so they won't starve. So, as a result of this, in Canaan there's no food, so Jacob sends the 10 eldest brothers, the 10 eldest sons, to Egypt to get food. The only one that's left behind is Benjamin, the youngest, and Joseph's full brother from Rachel. So they go to Egypt, and the first of Joseph's prophetic dreams come true, where now his brothers are bowing down to him as the governor of Egypt. Now, they don't know that it's Joseph. They just know that he is a very powerful man in Egypt. He's in charge. So they're ingratiating themselves to him. They're trying just to get food so they can go home and not starve. Joseph is testing them in several ways, and will continue to test them here. He's demanding that they bring Benjamin back with them. So he keeps Simeon there in Egypt, while the other 9 go back to Canaan with the grain and their money that Joseph snuck back in there. And they're telling Jacob, hey, we have to bring Benjamin back, otherwise they're going to kill Simeon and possibly kill the rest of us, and we won't have food. And Jacob's like, no, we can't take Benjamin. He's my favorite son. You will not take him. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Okay. So we're going to continue on in chapter 43 of Genesis, starting in verse 1. The famine was very bad in that country. The people ate all the grain they had brought from Egypt. When that grain was gone, Jacob said to his sons, "Go to Egypt and buy some more grain for us to eat." But Judah said to Jacob, "But the governor of that country warned us. He said, 'If you don't bring your brother back to me, I will refuse to talk to you. If you send Benjamin with us, we will go down and buy grain. But if you refuse to send Benjamin, we will not go. The man warned us not to come back without him.' Israel said, 'Why did you tell him about you had another brother? Why did you do such a bad thing to me?' The brothers answered, 'He asked a lot of questions. He wanted to know all about us and about our family. He asked us, is your father still alive? Do you have another brother at home? We only answered his questions. We didn't know he would ask us to bring our brother to him.' Then Judah said to his father Israel, 'Let Benjamin go with me. I will take care of him. We have to go to Egypt to get food. If we don't go, we will all die, including our children. I will make sure he is safe. I will be responsible for him. If I don't bring him back to you, you can blame me forever. If you had let us go before, we could have already made 2 trips for food.' Then their father Israel said, 'If it is really true, take Benjamin with you, but take some gifts to the governor. Take some of the things we have been able to gather in our land. Take him some honey, pistachio nuts, almonds, spices, and myrrh. Take twice as much money with you this time. Take the money that was given back to you after you paid last time. Maybe the governor made a mistake. Take Benjamin and go back to the man. I pray that God, all-powerful, will help you when you stand before the governor. I pray that he will let Benjamin and also Simeon come back safely. If not, I will again be sad from losing my children.' So the brothers took the gifts to give to the governor, and the brothers took twice as much money with them as they took the first time. This time Benjamin went with the brothers to Egypt." Verse 16. When Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to his servant, "Bring these men into my house. Kill an animal and cook it. They will eat with me at noon today." The servant did as he was told. He brought the men into Joseph's house. The brothers were afraid when they were taken to Joseph's house and said, "We have been brought here because of the money that was put back in our sacks the last time. They will use this as proof against us and steal our donkeys and make us slaves." So the brothers went to the servant in charge of Joseph's house. They said, "Sir, I promise this is the truth. The last time we came to buy food. On the way home, we opened our sacks and found our money in every sack. We don't know how it got there, but we brought that money with us to give it back to you. And we have brought more money to pay for the food that we want to buy this time." But the servant answered, "Don't be afraid. Believe me. Your God, the God of your father, must have put the money in your sack as a gift. I remember that you paid for me. I remember that you paid me for the grain the last time." Then the servant brought Simeon out of prison. The servant led the men into Joseph's house. He gave them water, and they washed their feet. Then he fed their donkeys. The brothers heard that they were going to eat with Joseph, so they worked until noon preparing their gifts for him. When Joseph came home, the brothers gave him the gifts they had brought with them. Then they bowed down to the ground in front of him. Joseph asked them how they were doing. He said, "How is your elderly father you told me about? Is he alive and well?" The brothers answered, "Yes, sir, our father is still alive." And they again bowed before Joseph. Then Joseph saw his brother Benjamin. Benjamin and Joseph had the same mother. Joseph said, "Is this your youngest brother that you told me about?" Then Joseph said to Benjamin, "God bless you, my son." Joseph felt a strong desire to show his brother Benjamin that he loved him. He was about to cry and didn't want his brothers to see him, so he ran into his private room and cried there. Then Joseph washed his face and came out. He regained control of himself and said, "Now it is time to eat." The servants seated Joseph at a table by himself. His brothers were at another table by themselves, and the Egyptians were at a table by themselves. The Egyptians believed that it was wrong for them to eat with Hebrews. Joseph's brothers were seated at a table facing him. The brothers were looking at each other because, to their surprise, they had been seated in order, from the oldest to the youngest. Servants were taking food from Joseph's table and bringing it to them. But the servants gave Benjamin 5 times more than the others. The brothers continued to eat and drink with Joseph until they were drunk. All right. So it's just continuing on, continuing the plan, pulling that thread. Now Benjamin is in the mix now. Now all the brothers are reunited. The only one knows about it right now. Here we see Judah is actually standing up for his family and for Benjamin. Now this is very important because Judah, spoiler alert, is the tribe that will produce the king of Israel. It'll produce David, and eventually it'll produce the earthly family of Jesus Christ, the true king of Israel. Okay? So Judah, who is the son of Leah, remember if I told you that Leah was actually the blessed one by God, who would produce the kings of Israel, the line of kings, and the one king. So Judah here is sticking up for his family and for everyone, saying, "Look, we've got to do this. You know, the blame will be on me if anything happens to Benjamin. I'll take care of it." Okay, so he's trying to make up for what he did because he was in that mix too. He was the one who said, "Let's kill Joseph." He was one of the ones who said, "Let's kill Joseph. Let's sell him to slavery or whatever." You know, so he's clearly trying to make up for that. And then of course we see that Joseph is now, you know, he's very overwhelmed by all this. He probably never thought he would see his family again, but now here they are in front of him, and he wants nothing more than to just tell them, "It's me. I'm your brother. I'm Joseph." And he wants to hug them and kiss them and cry and all that stuff, but he's holding back. He's still testing them to see how they would react to the situation and to see how they actually felt about him, probably. But the time for reuniting will come fully. Don't worry about it. Spoiler alert. All right, so we're going to pick it up there tomorrow. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. See you tomorrow. Bye.